Matt Lenihan Boxing Social and Association Empire Fight Store, our Kings, Eddie Hearn. Eddie, news as we were coming in, Jalil, Hackett off the card. Such a shame because it was everyone was talking all week, big balls coming into that rematch. When sort of did you find out about this? Was it last night, this morning?
So last night I got a picture from the team of those guys in hospital with his leg in not a cast but like a brace. He was running out around the complex and turned his ankle over, obviously on his weight cut as well, and was gutted really. I mean, I know it's quite low down the card, but still a fight that I wanted to see. And it was a big opportunity for Jalil, so it's a big blow, and we're set to make that fight when he recovers.
I'm going to say, obviously you mentioned in Colm's interview, you talk about the conveyor belt, it moves to the back, but there's still that there to say, look, when you are ready, we will pursue that.
Yeah, for sure. It's right what I said, like you've got so many fighters looking for opportunities, and every card that we've got now till the end of May is full. So you're kind of relying, I mean obviously he's got to get fit first, but you're kind of relying on something falling off a card to get on another card. Do you know what I mean? So it's a big blow, but he'll recover, and he's a young man. He'll be back, I'm sure.
Edgar Berlanga, we were sat down waiting for him to come out, and news sort of broke. I think it was Kevin from Fight Hype said that he'd come across a couple of pounds over. Disappointing with obviously all the talk that's gone on this week. He's the star of the show, wants to be the main event, but sadly he's missed weight.
Yeah, 1.6 pound over. I mean, never ideal, but at the same time, the fight goes on. I think Edgar, obviously although we're all following the contract, which was the comeback on the undercard, I think he's obviously a little bit annoyed and frustrated. He should be making weight. It's a championship fight, but he didn't, and we've got to just go out there and do a job tomorrow night.
Are you having further conversations with him? He is here this week to say, look, forget everything that's gone on, we've done good business, we can still do good business. Are you having them talks?
I've got a very good relationship with Keith Connolly, his manager, and Keith's a good guy in the middle to, we're not, despite whatever's said or despite whatever's going on, we've all got the ability to just get deals done and make it happen, and we do that very well. And if there's a fight for Edgar Berlanga that makes sense for him and for Matchroom and DAZN, we'll get it done. And if not, like I said before, we've had a great run and we wish him all the best. But, you've got to be careful in this game. You need people who've got your back, and we've got Edgar's back still. So we'll see what happens.
News came out yesterday. I'd heard rumblings of this months ago, but Mauricio Lara failing his drug test apparently around the rematch for the Leigh Wood fight. He's since then gone on to fight, I think, multiple times. What do you make of this? And how has that even happened?
Yeah, as I said to you, I think it was your interview yesterday, we've never received any correspondence from UCAD or the board to tell us about a failed test or any ongoing proceedings that's happening. And I get that the UCAD ruling is always confidential. We've seen it with Conor Benn, but at the same time, it takes a long time. Like Mauricio Lara hasn't been a matchroom fighter for, I don't know, about a year, but he's still had a couple of fights, not on our cards, but since that happened. So I don't know what to say really. I know that it's down to the fighter and his management team to deal with the hearing and the issue, but I still feel like on my show we should be alerted really with official correspondence, not like a situation where everyone finds out late, and then it's like if people say and if he was under contract with Matchroom, then what happens then? He wasn't, so it's not as relevant. But still, why does it take 2 years or however long? No, maybe not, a year and 10 months. Yeah.
Pretty much 2. I think.
Why? And I don't know. I just the problem is that VADA do an amazing job, but VADA don't issue penalties, right? They're just a reporting agency. It's probably a good spot for them because they don't have to get involved with all the shit afterwards. And I get people are going to, the commissions are going to make the rulings, but it just seems strange that a procedure like that would take so long.
But why is it just confidential to that fighter? Because you promoted the fight that's where the failed tests come from. So surely you're entitled to them results.
Yeah.
No?
I mean, I would, you'd always like to know if a fighter on your card tested positive. But again, we've never received any correspondence from UCAD or the board to say, just to let you know, this fighter on your card failed a drug test, there's a proceeding happening, this is what's happening in the proceedings. And I feel like you should know. And probably, see, the thing with VADA is they report it to everybody on the email, which is both teams, yeah, the commission, and anybody else involved in the show. Do you understand? So when you fail a test, I know, the other team know instantly, right, when you're on that bar to testing, and that's, I think, the way that it should be. So I don't know if the UKAD need to look at the rulings of how the procedure goes. It's not easy, because you've got people that are fighting cases, appealing and all this kind of stuff, but you'd wish it would happen a bit quicker.
I've got to ask you mentioned about your glittering schedule that's coming up in the previous interview. I don't know why he's saying what's going on when you concentrate on, but the Eubank Benn that's coming up, Chris Eubank Sr is not been a part of the build-up, but I saw his comments on the egg slap.
Yeah.
What do you make of that? Because he's obviously saying, look, try to change the game with me. We don't need to be doing that. What did you make of it?
I think Eubank Sr is right. It's the first time I've agreed with him for a while. What Eubank Sr said, which is 100% right, the world has changed where that's acceptable, because the world has become so desensitised to stuff. A little slap round the face with an egg, what's wrong with that? Do you know what I mean? Well, I'm more, he's older school than me, but I'm still old school to the level of you just don't do that. But I get like kids find it funny and like it goes viral, but should it go viral and should kids find it funny? If we're trying to talk about grassroots boxing and what's right and wrong and discipline and respect and manners, you've got to show people that's not acceptable. And that's where the board have acted strong. But Eubank Sr is right. Like, you just don't do that. You wouldn't. So, you think you would have seen Eubank Sr slap someone with an egg in a fight, or even like, I don't even think you'd see him push anyone. You might see the heads come, but that's the sort of part of the gentleman side of the sport of boxing. And the world has changed.
I know it's probably a question for the board, but where does this money go? £100,000, a lot of money. Where does this go?
I have no idea. Some people think I am the board, but I'm not the board, and you'd have to ask the board. Again, I saw Paul Smith's comments, 100% right. That money, really, the board are making a lot of money. They're sanctioning and running all the Saudi events and getting paid extremely well for it. You'd hope that something like that could be directed to some kind of ex-boxers fund, or for an isolated case of a fighter that really needs it. But question for the board.
Inoue fight being announced. I was hoping, like I think many was, that the MJ fight was, but you seem quite buoyant and confident that fight gets done. Are you having talks that makes you think this is actually going to happen now?
And that's why I'm not commenting negatively on the Cardenas fight. Like, if we don't do a deal, Inoue is no longer undisputed, right? And we're not interested in stepping aside. We are basically going to either do a deal or not do a deal, and Inoue will be stripped of his championship. I think we'll do a deal. So, we could fight MJ in May, and then we'll fight him, Inoue, in September, it looks like. But again, let's get the deal over the line, and hopefully he can keep his undisputed championship and then make the best fight in the division, which is MJ against Inoue.
I'll ask you about Anthony Joshua. We've not spoken about it for a while. Have you been having sort of a correspondence back and forth about what the next move is and where we go from here? Because I think everyone's seemingly waiting for an announcement for Dubois. Joseph Park's just been called for Usyk. Where does this leave Joshua?
Yeah, AJ's pretty chilled. He's not, I wouldn't say he's got a bad injury, but he's still not actually ready to go back punching fully. A little bit more work and he will be. And then he's kind of ready. I think the fights that motivate him are Dubois and Fury. Yeah. Like, I can't tell you that Wilder or Parker or Caballel, I'm not saying he's lost motivation, but just like, I don't know, like, I think that he wants a big fight next. So once he gets 100%, we'll make those plans. And for me, in a deluded world, I feel like he's going to fight Tyson Fury this year.
Next.
I've got no information on that. It's just purely, I just feel like at some point Tyson Fury is going to go, let's make the biggest fight in boxing. And that fight gets made like that,
I want to ask you, obviously, Amari Jones, going back to this card, headlining here, have you got any more signings to unveil in the next coming weeks? You've obviously got a busy schedule coming up.
I have, actually. I've got, we're making a big investment into the younger generation, because over the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, they're going to be the ones that are going to be headlining all these shows. And we've got a fantastic global stock of fighters. So you'll see some announcements over the next couple of weeks.
From what part of the world?
England, particularly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Nothing else, no?
No.
Eddie will catch up with you after the fight.